Live. We're live.
Hi.
Welcome to the Sports Hangover. I'm Michael Benatar, joined alongside J-Dog.
Mike, I'm going to see you tomorrow.
Yeah. We're going to see each other, and then you're
Try
going
to
to go.
contain your excitement.
Yeah,
All
then
right,
you're
so
going to
I've
go your
known
separate
Mike
way.
for what, 15 years. We've been doing the show for 10 years.
Yeah.
And he doesn't always get excited to see me. I don't know what it is.
It's a lot. You know, you have a guest, and then it's like we always want to record, but then we're always doing stuff. Then we get
I guess I'm not even
lazy
staying with you. Listen, I'm giving
I know.
you your space. Won't see you for another week. It's
for
going
a
to be
week,
great.
and then you stay for a week, and then,
Yeah.
you know, we play Madden for like hours, and then we never record a podcast together.
I know.
It's just
Not very productive. We're going to have a show in person. I guess it'll be in 2 weeks, though, so that'll be great.
Yeah. Well, do we want to start off with your Braves winning the World Series, or do you want to do something else?
I thought you'd never ask. In a week of terrible, depressing headlines, one positive, resilient baseball team won the World Series. Mike, I've been doing very little work on this Friday. I've been watching the Braves parade. It was very funny. They were in downtown Atlanta, but their stadium is 30 miles outside of downtown Atlanta. So they started the parade in downtown Atlanta, and all these people went downtown. And apparently the parade zoomed past them, going like 30 miles an hour. And like they barely saw the players on the floats and everything. Also, they could get to the stadium 30 miles away for the real parade. So it's pretty funny, these videos downtown of like the buses zooming by people. But anyway, it's great. The Braves won the World Series. First time in 26 years. I was 7 years old last time they won. I don't know if people understand you're 7 to 33 without a championship is essentially your whole life.
So I know you're really excited. I was trying to like watch a little of the baseball. I couldn't do it. I was just not. It's not thrilling enough for me. But I'm happy for you, J-Dog. You got your win. Are you buying some like championship swag? You know, I always love the swag. I have so much swag from the Stanley Cups, the Super Bowl championship, all that stuff. I got it all.
I'm trying to be patient. I'm definitely going to buy the swag. I know you're good at this. Hopefully TSH, the sportshangover.com has the real swag.
Make some
we don't
swag
have to go. Sure. No one wants to go to Fanatics when you can go to our own website.
That's right.
I didn't love like the shirt they're wearing the night they won, and that's what was on Fanatics like that night. So I'm giving it a B. I'm waiting for the good designs to come out. I think mid next week, like 7 days after they win, is when the best designs start to come out.
Yeah, send them to the TSH graphic designer. Maybe we can whip up some copycats. That we like to do.
I'm sure we can. It was amazing, Mike. I was telling you the last few weeks, they lost their best player to a torn ACL in July. Their second best hitter beat his wife in May. I was in LA with our mutual friend when that report came out. That's a real thing, and it's awful, and he's off the team, thank goodness. Their all-star catcher tore ligaments in his thumb in March. He just came back in September. Their best pitcher, Mike, he tore his Achilles in 2020, so he's working back. It's a 12-month rehab. Coming back in 2021, he tore his Achilles again walking to the clubhouse the second time. That's their best pitcher. So he hasn't pitched in 2 years. So like the resiliency from this team, they go out the trade deadline. They trade for 4 studs. What do these 4 studs do, Mike? One wins World Series MVP. One wins the NLCS MVP. We nicknamed October, and now we call it Jocktober because it's Jock Peterson. And the other one, the 4th one, he led the league in home runs. It's like you can't make it up. The last 3 months have been amazing. I'm so glad you brought up baseball. We just spent 3 minutes talking about it. I'm just so happy.
So where did you watch? Did you go to a bar? Were you sitting by yourself? I feel like the bar atmosphere should have been where you should have been, but I don't know if you were there.
I wish I was in Atlanta. I've dragged our rich friend. We have a lot of friends we talk about. Our rich friend. He used to live in Atlanta, and we would go to playoff games every year. It was a 2-year thing. We did it for 2 years, and then pandemic happened. No fans allowed last year. If I was on the East Coast, I would have been in Atlanta. I'd be at the parade right now. I'd be reporting live. Sports Hangover Instagram page.
Right.
I'm on the West Coast. Unfortunately, I'm around you. So I was watching at the hotel, went to the bar for the end of the game, drank some champagne, me and the boys as in the Braves. We're drinking champagne at the same time. And we went back and just celebrated. We're so happy.
These pandemic wins, not that this is like a true pandemic win, but it has been weird because I think a lot of it has been spent alone watching. Like I watched the Stanley Cup just alone, just watching like, not as exciting. And I think I missed the atmosphere of people being around and having like the excitement all there. I mean, not the transition, but I went to a football game this weekend.
Oh, tell us about that.
It was that stadium something else. That is like, I walked in, I had no expectations. It was the most pleasant football experience I've ever had. there was so much space. The way they like siphon people around, that there's so many levels that not everybody's on the same level at once. You know, if you go to like Staples Center or Dodger Stadiums, like everybody kind of in the same area, and then you funnel down to your seats. It's kind of segmented right. It never felt too crowded. I don't know how many people it holds, but it must be like 70, 90,000 people in there. Never felt too crowded. You got to get your beers, get your seat.
I don't understand, because there's so many people there, but they're all on different levels. So like there's no big crowd when you walk in, even when your ticket is scanned.
So you walk in and there's like 3 different levels you can go to depending on where your seat is. So if you're lower down, you go to like the bottom level, middle, and then the high level. And it was great. I don't know. It just felt great. Like I was like, oh, I'll go back. I'll definitely go back to this place. It was very, very enjoyable. Unlike, you know, a USC game.
Well, that's the other end of the spectrum, and that almost ruined your football experience. I thought you might never go to a football game after going to one at USC when the Rams played there.
It was cool. I mean, we saw the Chargers, bought some Chargers gear, Patriots.
I liked your Chargers sweaters. They have good colors, right? The powder blues are pretty iconic.
Great colors. I would say
Rams. Both LA teams have great colors.
Yeah, they have great colors. So nice little transition from their old colors. But I would say we were like sitting up there. We were saying like almost 70% Pats fans in that place. So Chargers definitely don't have true fans, which is kind of sad because you got a new stadium. They're kind of second tier out there, but it was great. And
I'll tell you where the Chargers fans are. They're here in San Diego. I went out last Sunday to watch football, and there are Chargers jerseys everywhere. And I'm thinking, y'all are in the wrong place. And it's so great you still support your team, even though your team left. Like, they ripped the hearts out of these people in San Diego. They have a stadium right there. They have a place to play. And it's like, no, we just want to go to LA to go to the big fancy stadium. And there's no fans there now, which is a problem. But that's SoFi Stadium. You got to mention where it was. So it's the new LA Stadium, SoFi. And you went on Halloween. Any costumes?
A few costumes here and there, but mostly just, you know, people that it seemed like, I don't know, it was weird. It was a very weird crowd. It seemed like a lot of people weren't really Chargers fans, just kind of walking around. A lot of Pats fans. So I don't know if they were just all flying in, but everybody was in Pats gear for sure. You know,
I think there's a big LA contingent of Pats fans, the Bill Simmons crowd that made the move out west. So that's not surprising. The Pats probably do that at most of their road games, thanks to one person, Tom Brady. Without Brady, they wouldn't have 70% of their fans. Justin Herbert's played bad like 3 weeks in a row, so you didn't see a good game from him.
No, we saw a good game from Mac Jones, though.
What do you think of Mac?
He looked great out there. I mean, you could really see the difference. He overthrew a few balls. That's what I noticed. It was a lot of overthrows. Little too excited on some of the throws. That's what I noticed. My scouting report.
Okay. No, this is good scouting because Mike was at one of the games of the year, the game of the year, really, a few years ago. Is the Chiefs and the Rams? Is that what it was?
Yeah, Chiefs and the Rams.
It was Mahomes and Goff going at it. It was this high-scoring Monday night game a few years ago. I think Nickelback performed at halftime. Or
I don't know. He was so bad. It's so bad. Yeah,
pick your bad act. But it's good quarterback play. So for you to compliment Mac Jones like that, I mean, you got the eagle eye on.
Oh yeah. I'm best scout around for sure. Do you want to do?
Wait, how long did you stay?
We left at the beginning of the fourth quarter.
Oh, that's like a whole extra quarter than your average.
Yeah. We stayed a while. We were very concerned about getting an Uber, and it took us almost until the end of the game to get an Uber and get out of there. So. Whatever that is.
They haven't figured that out. They haven't figured out the Uber Lyft situation.
We did, but our mutual friend decided to get the Uber outside of the zone instead of inside of the zone where all the Ubers are sitting. So it took us a little longer to get an Uber. But you know, we got out of there. No problem.
Yeah,
we don't need to stay to the end anyways, unless it's a close game. They were blowing them out. Patriots won. I wanted to do a fun guess that tweet. Do you want to do a guess that really quick? This is
keep
very
it fun because there's so many negative stories I want to touch on. So keep it fun.
Okay, so I'm kind of going off of, we play guess that tweet all the time, but I really liked, I don't know if you watched Succession over the weekend, but they had good tweet, bad tweet, good tweet, bad tweet, good tweet, bad tweet. And I really liked it because it's like they were reading good tweets about whatever and bad tweets about somebody. And it was great. So not that this is it. I have a few tweets here, but I want to see if you could guess who they're talking about. Hopefully you can guess. This is a really easy one.
Okay.
If blank had Allstate, he'd be protected from mayhem like this.
Aaron Rodgers. Mike, I lost a star quarterback. I feel like Aaron Rodgers is my guy. Like I am the defender of Aaron Rodgers. We've been doing the show forever. I have like futures bets on Packers winning Super Bowls with Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
I've always defended him, saying he's got the best arm strength if he just had better weapons around him, better coaching.
Yeah.
I've always defended him.
Mm-hmm.
And you better believe I'm not defending him today.
So I loved the way he said, "Oh yeah, I've been immunized. Like no problem." Like it was the weirdest way of saying.
How do you love that? He lied.
I know he lied, but I think it was because he had like doctors giving him like fake stuff that were like, "Oh yeah, you'll be fine. You'll be fine." He definitely lied. He now has COVID. He seems fine. He was on some Barstool show today.
He was on Pat McAfee, not Barstool, but Pat McAfee. Yes. He does that every week, and he did the interview today, and he seemed. I don't want to wade like too deep into this, but he seemed a little crazy. And we have listeners in Austin, Texas who might disagree, but he was talking about how the first person he consulted out of all the people was Joe Rogan. And he talked to Joe Rogan about how to treat it.
But I kind of like it because it was, if I got it, if I was wealthy, an athlete, I'd be like, Joe, what did you take to get over this?
You would ask a doctor, a medical professional?
I probably would have, but I would entrust Joe Rogan that he took all this shit. I probably would have taken the same thing. So I didn't hate him for that, but I did hate that he said it out loud because now everybody's going to be taking all this weird shit. He just should have said, saw a doctor, they gave me some medicine. We didn't have to go into detail because now he's like, yeah, now my good friend Joe Rogan gave me all these recommendations on what to take. And
I know.
It's just like, this is why we're all so fucked up. It's like, Joe Rogan should not be a medical professional and do not follow what he says or us.
But we're talking about the sports side of it, the scandal side of it. Go listen to the interview that Aaron Rodgers did. We tried to book him right afterwards. We couldn't get him to call in to this. I don't know what's going on there. But that's really interesting. But also the whole thing, like leading up to this, is now we're seeing how he was in all the press conferences without a mask. He was with his teammates without a mask. So was he lying to the Packers and he said he was vaccinated, but he really wasn't? Who knew about this? Who was letting him break rules all year? Is he going to come back? Because now once he comes back, he's still not vaccinated. So will he start wearing the mask and following the rules? Or is he going to retire right now, step away from the Packers?
No. He's not
like,
retiring.
Mike, he's not going to get the vaccine.
He's
so
not
getting the alternative?
Vaccine. Well, I don't think you actually can get your vaccine for like 3 months after you have COVID, right? Or 2 months or whatever it is.
Right. So now he needs to follow all the rules that he chose not to follow the first 10 weeks of the year. And I don't think he's going to want to do that because he obviously didn't want to do it the first 10 weeks.
They're now saying that he's going to be fined because you're not supposed to do any type of like social media marketing or anything like that outside if you're not vaccinated. He clearly is doing all-state commercials and Halloween parties and all this other stuff.
He was at the party last weekend. I'm surprised there's not more tests coming up for the Packers.
So, clearly he broke some rules. I think he's going to get fined for it. But I don't know what immunized is. Like when he said that, I kind of giggled when I actually saw that. And I'm like, that's a funny way of saying you got the vaccine. But because usually people say, oh yeah, I got the vaccine. Not I'm immunized.
Yeah,
it's like
immunized. Like I'm immunized. I got a tetanus shot recently because it's every 10 years you're supposed to get one. So I'm immunized. Right?
I didn't get one. I got to get one.
You got to get one.
They hurt.
Probably got one for college. You need another one.
I got one a few years ago, I think, like maybe like longer than a few years ago. Yeah, I stepped on something metal and I wanted to get the tetanus shot just in case.
Exactly.
You know? Never know.
Rogan said it's important.
God follow Joe Rogan.
Yeah. And so it sucks this week because we would have had Mahomes, Rodgers, and now we get Mahomes, Jordan Love. So that's not the same.
Real quick, I just thought
go ahead.
No, there's just another tweet. It had like a picture with it, but it's like Shailene Woodley cooking up like COVID vaccine for Aaron Rodgers. Like this is, I don't know. This is just crazy shit. What were you saying? Sorry.
Well, the real world implications, because the Packers have one loss. They're one of the best teams in the league. They're heading to the Super Bowl, hopefully. And now what? Now it's Jordan Love, this guy who is going to be interesting to see how he plays because we haven't seen him. And there's all this Aaron Rodgers rumors going around for years now. We haven't seen Love, so we'll get to see him. He probably won't be very good. The Packers are going to lose some games, probably 2 games without Rodgers. They're going to lose home field. They were 1 win away from the Super Bowl last year, and that was at Lambeau. So if they don't have the NFC Championship game at Lambeau, that's a real problem. That could be a straight line back to Rodgers' COVID test when you look back at this in January. And I just think it's a problem for the Packers. It's a problem for Rodgers. It's a problem for the league. It's a problem for the world. Anyone who looks up to Aaron Rodgers who gets COVID now is now going to go listen to the Joe Rogan thing and not doctors. Yep. I'm upset about it, but we're also not medical professionals. If our mutual friend in Austin wants to jump in, join the show, we'll have him anytime. I do love. I think it was a funny story. Obviously, he's doing fine, but I just think it's a He was a little sniffy.
It's fun. And I also kind of like that you hate Aaron Rodgers now because join the bandwagon. Okay,
I don't hate him.
in it
I'm
together.
Disappointed. I guess I would say I will always love Aaron Rodgers. I just don't like him very much right now.
Okay, he did something. Yeah, he hurt your heart. He hurt you. All right, what do you want to do? I don't have. By the way, no best bets this week. I think we're jinxing ourselves. I didn't want to talk about bets. I didn't want to talk about it at all. You did bad last week. I did bad last week. I don't even want to talk about it. What'd you do last week?
I'm 2-3. What'd you do?
1-4. Listen, we're doing terrible. You have to do 3-2 to be a winning week. We have had more 1-4 weeks. I'm calling it a jinx. I'm calling it jinx.
Wait, what is the jinx? You asking me to do picks as a jinx on you?
No, I'm
You're
calling
bad without me, man.
I'm saying no picks this week. We're not discussing until I get my head straight and our mutual friends' head straight. So we're back on the wagon and winning some goddamn games. It has been a really rough time. We were at Chargers Stadium, and he's like, "Oh, the Jets beat Cincinnati," and we took Cincinnati, thinking, "Of course they're good." No, Mike White lit them up. The White Lotus hitting them up. I hate it.
How about Jets fans? They have a quarterback who might be decent for the first time ever, and then he gets hurt on Thursday night, his next game in the first quarter, and they lose.
It looked like his finger, so he might be okay. But yeah, we're recording this Friday. So, all right.
He seems like an interesting guy. I saw this old interview of him last night. Did you see this?
He's been around for a while.
And he was very funny. He's doing some comedy. He has been around. All right. So no best bets, but don't blame me. I'm not your scapegoat for that.
I'm just saying it could be a jinx, and if I win this week, then I'm calling it a jinx, and we will I'll just say my picks, and we do not talk about it.
You're lucky because I was watching a Braves championship parade and didn't prepare any picks for today. So
Good.
Okay. We have a lot of scandals to dive into.
Okay. What do you want to do first?
I think the biggest one is I can't even say this. The Dolphins owner called Deshaun Watson on Monday night.
Oh, I didn't know this.
Before the trade deadline, and they had a conversation. The Dolphins owner and Deshaun Watson had a conversation.
Okay.
During the NFL season, while the guy has all these victims complaining against him, 22 or so that have allegations against Deshaun Watson, and the trade deadline was Tuesday. So the Dolphins, as we know, they've been talking about adding Deshaun, maybe trading Tua. They're struggling. They have one win. And we didn't know what was going to happen leading up to the trade deadline. The Dolphins owner spoke to him Monday night. Deshaun's attorney came out Tuesday and said the Dolphins were trying to get all of the 22 women to drop their charges, to drop the charges so the Dolphins could trade for him during the trade deadline. This is all according to reports. If any of this is true, my franchise, the Dolphins, are disturbing, disgusting. They should be taken out to the woodshed. They should be suspended. They should be fined draft picks, fined money, whatever it is. Why is Steve Ross, the owner of the Dolphins, still trying to make this happen? Your team's 1-7. Your GM sucks. Your offensive line sucks. Your whole team sucks. And now you're talking to Deshaun Watson, who is in so much legal trouble he can't even get on the field. Why are you making that phone call? Why are you giving him the time of day? Why are you trying to straighten this out so bad? Why is it in the press everywhere? Why does everyone know about it? It's being handled so poorly. And then there's this guy, Tua, on the other side, who's just trying to stay healthy and trying to play football. Yet every week it's all about Deshaun. Mike, I'm so pissed off at my franchise.
I can tell. I didn't know that phone call happened. It didn't seem like a lot of moves really happened. Like there wasn't like any big trades, maybe like Von Miller going to Rams or something, but I don't think I wanted it to happen. I wanted one of those big trades to happen. Now, is that not colluding or something when you're calling the player to be like, hey, what's going on? Like, we want to trade for you. I don't know if that's allowed. It seems a little fishy.
I think the Texans brokered the call trying to make a trade happen. So then it's legal, but it's still very, very bizarre.
Well, on one hand, I think the Texans played their hand wrong. They should have dealt him somewhere to get rid of him. If there are things against him, and there are things against him right now that have not been, quieted up or whatever he's trying to do with it or settled. But I think at this point, it's hard to be Deshaun Watson because now you're not playing. You got all these legal things. Could he ever play again? And that's where I went immediately. Like, is he ever going to play again? Is a team ever going to take him? Especially if all these charges are true. He's not going anywhere. I guess jail. I don't know. So it's kind of crazy that all this happened because he was a good quarterback. So I don't know. It's a weird situation.
So now I've turned on my favorite quarterback, Aaron Rodgers. I've turned on my favorite NFL franchise, the Dolphins. So we're having a great week.
It's good.
Thankfully,
do you want a more fun scandal we could talk about real quick?
Oh, I have some more bad scandals, but if you have a good one, let me
I'll
know.
lighten it up. I'll lighten it up a little. I saw this. I loved it. The headline is Zion Williams' teammate offered troubling take on weight issues. And immediately I thought, this is an Eddie Lacy situation. He's gaining weight every single year. He's hurting himself. Now, he had a foot injury, so he weighs way too much. I don't know if you've seen pictures of him. This boy beefed up. He didn't slim down and get sharp, and jacked. He's a little beefy right now. And then I started looking more into the, NBA season started. I don't know if you remember that, but NBA season started.
Yeah.
Then they're like, oh, there might be some big trades. So it seems like Kyrie might get dealt to Philadelphia. And then Zion would be on the Brooklyn Nets. And then Ben Simmons would be on the Pelicans. And it'd be like a 3-way trade.
It's kind of fun.
Yeah, I kind of like that idea. But I just thought of Eddie Lacy immediately. I felt bad. Eddie Lacy had to if you can stay into this weight, you're on the team. And I think that's what now Zion has to do because he's getting a little too beefy.
It's not surprising. I was scouting. You talk about your quarterback scouting. I'm scouting basketball guys all the time, as you know. And I went to go see Duke play UCF in person. I remember. And I saw Zion there in the March Madness tournament. And that boy was so big in college. And UCF at the time had a guy who's 7'6", and Zion worked him pretty good in that game. And Zion wasn't 7'6", but he's just a big, beefy dude. And he was too big in college, is what I'm saying. Because you never want to be that size in college, knowing you're going to get bigger afterwards, right?
Of course.
You're always going to get bigger in your early 20s than you did at 18, 19. So we knew he was too big then. His weight is out of control. I don't want to give up on him. I don't think it's time for the Pelicans to give up on him. I don't know their record. I'm not tracking NBA season. I'm not afraid to tell you because you know when basketball season really starts.
Christmas Day.
Christmas Day. You got it. So we'll check in on Christmas Day, and they'll be like 30-30 or whatever they are by then. I don't know how they're doing now, but I think they shouldn't give up on them. I don't want them to trade. I like the other two. Kyrie for Simmons makes more sense. I don't know if we don't have vaccine mandates in Philadelphia, but
I don't know. People are just trying to get rid of people. Yeah. If you're not getting vaccines, you're getting off teams.
There's a lot of problems out there.
But I just thought it was really funny. It's like he's too fat to play. He's hurting himself, and he's got to lose some weight. So
we'll talk more basketball in December. I got another scandal.
All right. Give me the scandal.
Odell, what are you doing? Now you're a free agent. Your dad's posting videos of you being open, apparently. Your teammates are liking it. And then we find out maybe it wasn't Odell's dad. Maybe it was Odell himself. Finally released. The guy's not producing anyway. You have him in fantasy. Bad pick. He's not getting open. He's not catching balls. If he was wide open, wouldn't Baker Mayfield throw him the ball? Don't the Browns offense want to be good? They don't want to be bad. They don't want to collude against him. Plus, they were better last year without him. So I have no problem with releasing him. Okay. I have more problem with how Odell has deteriorated as a football player.
I'm on Odell's side here. I'm hoping he goes to the Rams, or I actually had I had a bullshit or believe if you want to do that real quick.
Yeah.
Bullshit or believe, where will he land? Will he go to the Pats, KC, Bucks, or Rams? What do you think?
KC signed Josh Gordon. Have we seen Josh Gordon? Where is Josh Gordon?
We have not seen Josh Gordon.
I don't know if the Bucks score.
I also thought the Bucks don't have much room left to sign more people, like wide receivers.
Apparently Brady's a fan, but they do have a lot of cap space in their receivers. And Antonio Brown's really all you need because he's really good. And I hate saying that.
Yeah.
You said the Patriots, they're not in like a win now mode. They signed Nelson Aguilar for that role.
I don't know if Nelson Aguilar is like you're like bragging like Nelson Aguilar.
No, but Belichick gave him $50 million. So it's like I don't feel that way, but Belichick does or did. What about the Raiders? And we'll get to that scandal.
Oh, the Raiders. Okay. Yeah.
We'll get to that scandal, but they lost their speed receiver this week, right? Just out of nowhere.
Oh, so then you think Raiders?
The Raiders have a winning record. Derek Carr's playing good football, which is still surprising me. I like the Raiders. The Rams also cut Deshaun Jackson. Was that in anticipation of sliding Odell in there? I actually think Deshaun's a better player at this point. I mean, Odell's not proving anything, so I don't know if a good team really wants him.
I mean, the Rams make sense. Maybe Raiders make sense. But yeah, I'm on Odell's side. I think he's still got a little juice left in him. I just think being on that team, Baker, wouldn't say he's a great quarterback. So he's got to go somewhere where he can have at least a quarterback that wants to throw to him. I think Eli definitely fed him the ball because he was the only wide receiver there. Maybe that's where he goes. But if he wants to win a ring, he's got to go somewhere like the Rams, KC, Bucks. He's got to go to a winning team. So who knows where that's going to be.
But if I'm a winning team, I don't want Odell on my team because I saw what he did the Browns. And the Browns were literally better last year when he got off the field.
Was he not quiet, though? He didn't really do too much on social media. It wasn't like I'm dragging this through the mud. He's just like, I'm not. Owner's like, you're not basically on the team anymore. We're releasing you. You're out. I agree. Maybe he is open all the time and no one's throwing him the ball, but I don't know.
Why would Baker collude against him? Their offense sucks. They score like 13 points a week.
Listen, Odell wants to move. He sees all these other people just getting upset and leaving. So why doesn't he do the same? If you're a superstar, don't you want to do that? Be like, I'm out. Like, get me out of here. I'm not playing with you.
Yeah. Big Browns-Bengals game this week. We're not doing best bets, of course, but Joe Burrow against Baker. The Bengals are playing better, even though they lost to the Jets. If Burrow beats Baker in this game and the Bengals kind of assert themselves as better than the Browns, people will start calling for Baker's head in Cleveland. It could be a really bad offseason.
It's going to be really, really bad. Well, before we get to another scandal, let me just do
You're making things better. You're lightening the mood.
I'm lightening it up a little. Let me do a little BDE here. I'm going to give the big dick energy to the Manning cast. They have now inserted the Manning cast curse. So let me read this to you. Every time a player comes on Manning cast, they lose their next game. Kelsey week 1, lost week 2. Russ week 1, lost week 2. Gronk week 2, lost week 3. Stafford week 3, lost week 4. Brady week 7, lost week 8. This is a real curse. People getting loose on Monday Night Football with the Mannings, and they are losing the following week playing. So I don't know if it's real. It's turning into like kind of a, Madden kind of curse, but it seems pretty real right now.
I don't know why it's a big dick energy. I don't know why they're being rewarded for
giving it out. They made a curse. Yeah, they made a curse.
They visit. Maybe week 9, they're not going to get anyone on the show. No one wants to lose the next week.
We'll see. I don't know who was on this week. I didn't watch Monday Night Football.
I neither. I was watching World Series.
Yeah, so same. Yeah.
That was great. Did you have more tweets, by the way? You did the Aaron Rodgers tweet. Did you?
No, I was looking for a few more, but all of them had to go with pictures. Very visual. Some of these tweets now. Everybody's adding images, not just tweets.
Back to the scandals.
Not like guess your tweets. Back in the day.
The
good old days.
There was a bumper and everything. Okay, we mentioned the Raiders. I don't even want to talk about the story. It's gruesome. It's horrific. Henry Ruggs doesn't play for them anymore, and it's so sad.
He's out.
Okay. Yeah. Next. I have a BD. I'll go to my BD.
Oh, by the way, real quick. Hold on. Just talking about Henry Ruggs real quick. I just found out that every player has a free Uber pass for the year. Like they can unlimited Ubers.
Every NFL player has that?
I guess so. That's what I heard. I didn't know that was real. It might not be real. Maybe somebody check my facts, but we've talked about this for a long time. If that's real, it just makes it worse. So just want to throw it out there.
It's true. And the free Uber pass should be given to people who will use it safely.
Yeah. Or hire a guy like one of us to say, don't do that.
Exactly. Very sad. Okay. Adrian Peterson is my big dick energy, Mike, because he's back. Your boy is back. We can't get rid of him. He's run for 14,000 yards in his career. Do you know how 14,000 yards is? It's got to be miles and miles. That's so far. And he's still getting it done. Look how many miles it is. 14,000. And he's back now. So he's back with the Titans, and he's kind of replacing a fun player. So you replace Derrick Henry, sad for the Titans, but I feel like you can kind of channel Derrick Henry in a way and just be a beast. And Peterson's not going to be fast. He's not going to be as agile. But I bet you he's still a big body, and I bet you he's going to run over some people. I think it's a fun situation for him. They have the receivers outside, so I'm excited that AP's there. I didn't love him in Washington because they weren't a team with a good offense. They were relying on him too much, but I think in Tennessee, I like it. Do you have a distance for him?
You're going to be pretty sad about the distance. Do you want to just take a guess real quick how far it is?
14,000 yards?
Yeah. Just take a guess.
That was like 100 miles. I guess it's
7 miles. You got to think he's only running the length of a football field,
But he does it so much. I don't know. He does it so
7 miles. 7 miles.
Right.
I love Adrian Peterson. I've said it before. I think he just goes hard all the time. He does not care. He just runs. I will be signing him off the free agent wire if he's not available.
He's not available. He's 36. Available. He's older than us, which is, you know how we feel. We talk about this, and he's been hit a few more times than us.
I did CrossFit 4 days ago. I'm still sore.
There you go.
Yeah, it's
how's he going to play on Thursdays after a Sunday game?
He's not going to.
I got one more for you.
Okay, give it to me.
There's another sad story. Jameis Winston, the guy was handed the keys to a great offense with a great head coach, and they're playing good football, and they have a good defense, and he's done. And he tore his ACL.
Well,
and it's sad. And did they still beat the Bucs? What happened at the end of that game?
They beat the Bucs. They beat the Bucs. He did
Trevor Siemian beat the Bucs.
He did not look sad in the locker room dancing with a torn ACL
dancing on his crutches. That was I can't remember seeing that after a guy gets hurt in that game.
He was so pumped. He loved it. I think he's a true team player. I don't think he cares that he got hurt. I think he's all about the team. He was celebrating so hard. I don't think it's a sad story. The dude took him here. Maybe they win a Super Bowl and Jameis will be happy for it.
I think it's a sad story because it's the best situation of his career. He was starting on a good team, heading to the playoffs, playing good football. And you've never been able to say that about him for one reason or another in his career. Yeah. And I don't know that he's ever going to get that chance again. He's on a 1-year deal here with the Saints. I think they'll be in the market for a better quarterback than him or Taysom Hill in the offseason because Sean Payton deserves that. So what if he goes to be a backup at a bad team after this? And this was like the one chance. You think Jacoby Brissett's going to have a great career. He's Tua's backup in Miami. No one cares about him. You know, it's so easy to go from in the spotlight to out of it. I worry that could happen with Jameis, and it's kind of sad because he was playing well.
I still don't think it's that sad. Doesn't look like they're the market for any other quarterbacks. I thought it was he's a team player.
Simeon's starting. So Taysom Hill practiced, but now they're starting Simeon.
No, I picked up Taysom Hill's my starting quarterback this week, so he better play.
You know, last year for just a few weeks, you remember this? He was my starting tight end.
I remember that.
And he was the starting quarterback at the time, and those were the glory days.
I hate that ESPN changes the rules so fast. Like, oh no, can't do this.
I stole like 2 wins and then he was gone.
Yeah. What else? I have like a few I have 2 bullshitter beliefs left if you want to do it.
All right. Happy stories only. We've covered the sad.
Okay. Well, this might not be happy, but it relates to the Saints. Bullshitter belief Phillip Rivers will be signed to the Saints. He said, hey, if you need me, I'm here.
Did he say that?
He did say that.
Chris Mortensen was reporting this on Monday, and I thought Mort had a few too many because I don't really see Phillip Rivers. He just wrapped his high school football coaching season. Is he in shape? What's he been doing, during the week? Does he want to get hit? He doesn't need the money. He was on like a $30 million contract in his last deal per year. So I don't see it. No.
Okay. All right. So we'll say bullshit there. What about bullshit or believe? Was it a good move for the Rams to trade away more picks for Von Miller? Because it seems insane. I don't think they have any picks left. They're just giving everything away.
And they do this every year. They trade picks for veterans. That's how they acquired Jalen Ramsey. It's how they've acquired offensive skill players. It's just the way they move. Apparently, their front office sucks at picking, at just drafting. And so if you suck at something, the greatest thing you can do is have awareness of it and just don't do it. And so you might as well trade all your picks for proven commodities. I believe Von Miller's a free agent after this year. He can't stay healthy. He can't stay on the field. There's like a 50-50 chance he'll even be healthy in the playoffs. So I think it's probably a bad move to give up 2 like starters, basically a 2nd and 3rd round pick. Those guys would normally come in and start right away for Von Miller for like 6 games. But if they win the Super Bowl, it doesn't matter.
Then it was worth it. That's all I got.
In LA, which that's what they're trying to do, by the way. Yes. And we can end on that. The stadium that you were at, SoFi Stadium, the Rams are going all in with that defense.
They are.
And they already have Matthew Stafford, who's playing great football. They want to be there just like Tampa won at their field last year. So it's probably going to come down to Bucks Rams. Again in the NFC Championship game.
We'll see. We'll see if it happens. I like that they're going all in. It feels very fantasy to me. Like, let me just get everybody else. You guys are going to lose this season. I'll take your players. Let's go win this thing. So good for them. Check out the sportshangover.com. And if we don't get arrested unless we reviews, hopefully we are back next